up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-finals. We are 3 games away from winning a trophy, and this is the first of the 3. A difficult game against one of the better sides in La Liga. It's first versus third in the league table in a cup game where anything can go either way. Both teams are at great form in 2025, especially probably since the turn of I would say middle of December. Of course, they already had a clash this season as well that was very dominated by one side, but the other side won it. So much here as at stake. Of course, Barcelona looking for Spanish dominance, Atletico Madrid looking for their first trophy since their league title during COVID. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9:30 p.m. local time. So we do have a very late kickoff tomorrow, later than usual, and this match will be taking place at the Lluís Companys Stadium in Montjuic, which of course is the temporary home of Barcelona, where the atmosphere is expected to be as electric as it can be. And on the pitch, of course, the referee for this match has been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Alejandro Hernandez. On the VR, it will be Trejo Suarez. Now, of course, this match is one of 2 semi-finals. The other one, of course, will be Real Madrid taking on Real Sociedad. That, of course, will be on Wednesday at the Anoeta. Second leg will be at the Bernabeu. We will know who our final opponent will be, because the next time we do play, of course, the Copa del Rey midweek, it will be the beginning of April, where this time it will be Madrid and Sociedad playing on Tuesday, whereas Barcelona will be playing Atletico Madrid on Wednesdays. We will go into that second leg game knowing who our opponent will be in the final. That will be, of course, a big indication, but with the first game being at home, you have to go for the result in this game. Anything but a win really would be would just make things way more difficult in the second leg, especially the Metropolitano Stadium. Fantastic stadium, great atmosphere, and it's just going to make things even more difficult than it is. But unfortunately, Real Madrid did get, of course, the easier of games, but hopefully we can see Real Sociedad do some damage to them at the Anoeta on Wednesday. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Atletico Madrid. Of course, Atletico Madrid, not only one of the best teams in Spain, but one of, if not the best teams in the world of football, of course, specifically in Europe. They've done very well this season, especially for what we thought they were coming into this season. They went on course in like a 20-game unbeaten run. They're in the round 16 of the Champions League, which, by the way, they will be facing Real Madrid. This will definitely help in this time when fixture congestion gets into, you know, the real nitty-gritty, which I think will be beneficial for us. But of course, at that point, you could say that both legs of that Madrid derby will be done by the time the second leg comes about. But anyways, fixture congestion will take it. But again, I think Madrid, one of the better teams in the world of football. And the last time we did face them, of course, but at the end of December, final match for the Christmas break on my fucking birthday, we lost 2-1. It was a game where I probably would say the best football this season, was, apart from, you know, the 2 Clásicos, was probably played at this game. We absolutely battered them for 90 minutes. I think we dominated the control of play. The tempo was fantastic. Transitions were all covered by Barcelona. It was a dominant performance. 1-0 up. The post goes on an absolute cracker from distance. You're like, all right, frig. And then Sorloth on the break. When Barcelona were, you know, attacking, going for the win, we were open at the back, counterattack, and they scored. The Sorloth goal was coming. When he got subbed on, you just knew he was going to score. Of course, Pedri dropping an absolute masterclass in this game as well. But again, it really came down to the attacking trio. No Lamine Yamal in this game. He was injured, of course, during that the month of December, end of November as well. He was injured, didn't come back, of course, to the Spanish Super Cup. But again, the attacking threat, we just weren't that strong, and we weren't clinical on the night. Well, with Lamine Yamal, maybe not in this game, we'll talk about that later on, I think we will look much better. Of course, Dani Olmo being fit from the get-go as well. So, narrow loss for Barcelona despite a dominant performance. That's what you have to remember, mainly, of course, at the Montjuic as well. Now, if you take a look at Atletico Madrid's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match, they beat Valencia 3-0, drew 1-1 with Celta Vigo, 1-1 with Madrid in the derby, 5-0 win against Getafe. They, of course, get to this point in the Copa del Rey, and a 2-0 win against Mallorca. But let's take a look at the last 3 games in all competition. Firstly is that 1-1 draw against Madrid in the league. It was a very, very tight game. It was a game in which, of course, being at the Bernabeu, you expect Madrid to have a bit of an edge. Quite an even game, to be fair. I would say first half was all Atletico, second half was all Real Madrid. Of course, Atletico scored by a penalty, and Real Madrid scored with, I think, Mbappe very early on in the second half. So to be fair to Atletico, they did hold on for a solid 45 minutes plus extra time. I would say this about Atletico Madrid, they're very, very good at holding their position. Whether they want to hold a win, hold a draw, when they lock it down, it's just so hard to break them down. But I think overall it was a very, very even game, and a game where you probably walk away thinking that a draw was a fair result. In the end, that was the final outcome point for each team. Next up was their 1-1 draw against Celta Vigo in that fantastic, successful hate watch weekend with Madrid and Osasuna as well. Atletico weren't that great in this game. They, of course, created a few chances. The red card very early on for Barrios, I think in like the 10th minute, didn't help them, going 1-0 down from a penalty. That was a clear penalty. Celta Vigo having a few other chances, had another penalty shot. The goal, I believe, who scored the goal? I even forget off the top of my head. I thought it was Lino, but I'm looking here and he wasn't the one who scored it. I'm trying to think. Anyways, the goal came up around the 70th minute. It was, with Atletico throwing everything at it. It was difficult for them not to end up getting a goal against a very, very weak Celta Vigo defense, which they did make some rotations as well. But to be fair to Celta Vigo, credit to them, after that one goal, they still held on for the draw, which again was a very, very poor result for Atletico Madrid. And the final match of all competition was on Saturday. They played, of course, same day as us, I think a few hours earlier. No big difference there. They clapped Valencia 3-0 at the Mestalla. It was quite an easy win for them. We all know how poor Valencia were. I thought maybe the Mestalla, they could, maybe nick a draw, but it was all Atletico Madrid. Once they went 2-0 up with the Julian Alvarez brace, they just locked it down. They played conservative football. Julian Alvarez probably should have had a hat-trick before halftime. It's a 1v1 just before the break. Second half was, again, a bit conservative. They had a few counterattacks with Angel Correa scoring for one of them as well. So very, very easy game for them in the end against a very, very poor side. 3 well-deserved points. Now on the screen right now is one that I believe that Diego Simeone will select for this match. I think he'll go with Musso in goal, a back four of Molina, Jimenez, Lenormand, and Javi Galan. Midfield 4 of Marcus Llorente, De Paul, Barrios, and Lino, and the front 2 of Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez. Again, Atletico Madrid don't really have, a gala 11, so there could be changes to this team. Would not be surprised there. Musso is, of course, their second goalkeeper from Argentina. He is confirmed to be started by Diego Simeone this morning in the press conference, which, benching All Black with this form this season, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is, I wouldn't say an advantage for us, but something to definitely keep your eye on. In terms of the back line, we could maybe see Lenglet come in. Azpilicueta apparently has a bit of a knock. He probably won't start the game, but we definitely could see Lenglet make an appearance. The real question mark for me in this team is that right-hand side. Will Molina start? Will it be Llorente at right back? Maybe Simeone at right mid? Of course, Diego Simeone's son. There could be some options there. I think that midfield pivot is pretty set. Maybe he could start Conor Gallagher in there, but Barrios seems to have the edge over him. I think it'll definitely be Lino off the left. Even having a left back, it could maybe be some other options as well. I think of this team, honestly, I'm probably confident with about 8 to 9 choices. Their squad depth is so elite that they could, of course, make a few changes. We could maybe see Sorloth get the start, but I think Sorloth off the bench is probably stronger. So, I mean, you really never know. But I think I think if I'm Atletico Madrid's manager going against Barcelona, this would be the line that I would select. This is why I think Simeone will select it, because of course he is a smart man. But I'm not too confident getting 11 out of 11, but definitely the majority of this team I think will start. So overall, final thoughts on Atletico Madrid. They're such a good team this season. They're very, very threatening, very dangerous. They're very well managed by their legendary manager, Diego Simeone, who, of course, his record at Barcelona has been shite, despite now getting his first win in December against Barcelona in all competition, I believe, since being the Atletico Madrid manager. Never won there. Maybe it was just in the league. Maybe he nicked a win there in the cup or something like that. But his record against Barcelona at the Camp Nou is very, very bad. Hopefully that continues, but with it being the Monge week now, him just winning the Monge week, you never know. But again, fantastic manager. In terms of players to look out for Atletico Madrid, of course, they have such a fantastic squad. There's really nowhere to be dodging it. I would have said All Black, but he's not playing this game, which I think is a big advantage for Barcelona. Of course, the front 2, Griezmann and Julian Alvarez. I think De Paul in the midfield is having an absolutely sensational season. I think Llorente is such a good player as well. Those probably be the 4 that I think, scare me. I think the rest are just good quality player. Jimenez, Lenomad, Molina if he starts, Barrios as well, Lino. They're all good players, but not players that I really fear. I think this game for Atletico Madrid in terms of a game plan really comes down to them being as strong as the defense as possible, and then again hitting Barcelona on their few attacks, which they won't be attacking that much in this game. They only have a few attacks, 4 or 5, but being clinical on those is what they strive on. If they are, they could be 3-4-0 up. And then when it comes down to Barcelona scoring are multiple of chances that will come in, especially being at home, but a team that are so good defensively and also very dangerous on the attack. Now, we do have a few injury updates heading into this match. First, in regards to Andreas Christensen, there are reports suggesting that he is very close to getting the medical green light. Maybe not for this game, maybe we're looking at the weekend game against Sociedad potentially, but at some point in hopefully the next week or so, we will see him get the medical clearance and be back in the squad. Let's probably be playing for another 2 weeks or so, because we gotta get back up to, the rhythm and sharpness. But again, of course, that medical clearance will be very important, but there is a big shock heading into this game, and that is with Lamine Yamal, who did not train this morning with the team. The reports are suggesting it was just a precaution. He potentially could not start the match, but he wants to play. Barcelona wants him to play. Flick wants to play him as long as there's no risk of an injury or a relapse. Of course, this comes after his left foot injury against Las Palmas, which of course he posted on his IG, on his Instagram, saying that he didn't even get a foul for this injury, but did not train today. So we will see how things do turn out. I think in the end, most likely he will play, but no training today. So there are reports suggesting that, maybe he's not fully fit. Doubt for the match, but we're hearing from Lamine Yamal's entourage that he wants to play 1,000,000,000% no matter what. So we'll wait and see what happens. Time now for the press conference reaction of Hansi Flick, who of course spoke this afternoon in Barcelona ahead of the match. It's also his birthday, so shout out to Flick. Happy birthday to him, the big old 60. So got a lot of birthday wishes in this presser. But let's get to see what the Mr. had to say this afternoon for the match tomorrow. Starts off by saying that firstly, thank you all for the birthday wishes. It's a new game. We're starting from scratch. It's a great team. They invested a lot of money and therefore they have a great team. They have the best defense in Spain. It will be a very tough game. First question he was asked was on Lamine. He said, look, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think he will be able to play. I'm positive, but we'll have to wait and see what the doctors say tomorrow. On the rest, again, the Spanish media, I don't know why, are losing their balls because Barcelona's game that was supposed to be this Saturday against Sociedad got moved to Sunday because Madrid's game on Champions League was on Tuesday, so La Liga switched it. And everyone in Barcelona is losing their mind. Now I'm here saying, you idiots, it's more beneficial because now we play on Sunday instead of Saturday, so we now get that extra rest from this match again tomorrow against Atletico to Sociedad on Sunday, and then we have the quick 48-hour turnaround in the Champions League against Benfica, which again, I think Real Madrid have it more tough. They play on Wednesday, and then they play on Saturday, and then they play on Tuesday, so they have way less rest. I think if we didn't switch the games, it'd be physically impossible for them to play. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, he was asked on the fixture change, and he said, look, after what I've seen, I don't know if Benfica will rest or not. By the way, Benfica have like a week off before the game. We can't do anything. It's not in our hands. It's difficult sometimes to talk to the federation. I don't know if it's possible, but we'll try to manage it well as we've done so far in the past. Then asked on protecting players, fouls, and of course Lamine Yamal not getting too many calls in his favor, saying, look, we can't say that Lamine or certain players should be specifically protected. It should be everyone. If you don't get yellow cards, hard fouls will be repeated. We should protect them. It's hard, the most sensible thing to do, not just some special ones, but everyone. It's we always like to see one-on-one situations, to see those players who are capable of being pass defenders, and we have to protect them. Then asked on Dani Olmo, say, look, I think he can start the game. It's also important to say that we have to take care of him progressively. The goals he scored versus Las Palmas is of course very important as well. On the next big games coming ahead, it's always like that. You probably know more about the season than I do. We take it game by game. We are focused on the next game, and we want to show our great mentality and good atmosphere in the dressing room. Then asked on Tebas' words. Tebas this morning came out saying that he hopes that Dani Olmo will not finish the season with Barcelona, of course, in terms of his registration. He said, look, I don't want to say anything about that. For me, it's what matters the most that he can play right now, and I'm very happy about that. I don't know what will happen in the future. I'm surprised by the things that happen at the club, but I'm very happy to be here. On the last game against Atletico, I think the positive thing we have shown is our football. We had the chance to score more goals before they did. The important thing is to score more than your opponent. You always have to remember that it's not a one-match tie. That is a very key point. Of course, 2 legs, and of course in that match there was no Lamine Yamal as well, so hopefully he will make the difference in this game. on the matches that we want to win this game. It is the rest doesn't matter to me. We're playing at home, so at home hopefully we'll have a full stadium because we will need this full support. Finally, he was asked on the midfield selection. He was asked who will start the game, Frenkie de Jong or Casado. He said that, look, I think we have a lot of quality players in that position. Everyone's at their best, and they can all make the difference. We'll have to wait and see what we decide. Again, I haven't decided anything yet. I will make the final call on the lineup tomorrow. So basically saying that everyone's open. He mentioned specifically that the depth in the pivot and the 10 is hard to pick. It's fantastic. So that concluded Flick's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Atletico Madrid tomorrow. Let's now get into lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to make this lineup. I think it will be, of course, very easy to predict because I believe he will be going full strength with Szczesny in goal, a back four of Kounde, Kubarsi, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde, midfield three of De Jong, Pedri, and Dani Olmo, front three of Yamal, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. Again, I'll be shocked if he picks anything but this, of course, pending Yamal if he is fit or not. I think they will risk it with Lamine. Again, Benfica in the quarterfinal, in the semi-round 16, we should be able to get by them. Sociedad have a lot of, suspensions for this weekend alongside a big game in the Copa del Rey midweek as well. So I think we can get by with risking Lamine Yamal, of course, praying that there's no relapse. My big concern, of course, is Frenkie in the midfield. It's pretty much the battle between him and Casado. I think the Flick will go with Frenkie. Hopefully he doesn't, and we'll talk about that in my lineup prediction. The rest of the team picks itself. Again, Copa del Rey, full strength, semi-final, final four, Atletico Madrid. There's no messing about. So I think that Flick will select this lineup on the screen right now. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach. As I hinted to earlier, I have only made one change. I have selected Marc Casado ahead of Frenkie de Jong. I just think Casado's ability to win the ball back in the midfield and keeping us defensively sound is absolutely vital for this game. I think playing Frenkie de Jong, you're asking for trouble. I think Frenkie de Jong would be excellent to come in this game off the bench, especially based on how the game is going. If we're dominating, of course, don't bring him in. If we need more progression, bring him off the bench fully fresh against maybe a bit of a tired Atletico Madrid team. I think he'd be much more impactful in that sense. And the game's coming up like against Sociedad, Osasuna, maybe even Benfica. I'd much rather prefer Frenkie de Jong over Casado, but in this game for me, it has to be Casado. Of course, no chance for Araujo to get into this team as well, and the rest of the team picks itself really. So this is the B line that I was select for this match, but of course in the comments down below, let me know if I pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. And now for my score prediction, what do I believe the result will be in this match? Of course, the last game against Las Palmas, I got the score absolutely correct. Pop, pop, pop. I've gone with the 1-1 draw here. I've sat my arse right on the fence. I don't think we lose the game, especially Lamine Yamal starts and Dani Olmo starts as well. We have, our strongest Gala team. I think a draw is definitely on the table. I feel like the most likely outcome is Barcelona to draw this game and then win away at Madrid, but it's hard to think about that now, especially with how well Atletico Madrid have been playing this season. But I think a narrow 1-0 win is on the table, but I think a 1-1 draw is the most probable outcome in this game. If there are more than 3 goals scored in this game, I'll be shocked. So maybe a 2-1 win either way, just like it was, of course, in the league game, a 2-0 win for either side. But if there's more than 3 goals, I'd be shocked. For me, for Barcelona to win the tie in this first leg, we'd have to win by more than 3 goals. So a 3-0, a 4-1. That for me would be like, yep, survive in Madrid, 1-1 draw, 0-0. And you're in the cup final. But 2-1 win's not over, 3-1 win, or by 2 goals, it's not over. So if you're managing this game, you probably want to go for it, but then again, you don't want to leave yourself too vulnerable at the back, because you know how well Madrid hit on the counter-attack as they did in the league game. So I think it'll be a very, very conservative game from both sides, especially with this being the first leg. So my official score prediction is a 1-1 draw, but of course in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that's my match preview for Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey semi-final first leg. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. Main thing I want first to do, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, we have to pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. What do you think Flick will go with? What would you go with if you're the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set a reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Huge game ahead. A win, I'll be happy no matter how the win comes, 5-4, 2-1. But a draw or loss will be very, very devastating. So I'll see you guys some more. Let's lock in, take care, and Forza Barca.
Yeah.